When I think about Naruto nowadays, I don't think about this, nor this, or even this. I think of this scene right here. Controversial, to say the least. I had been reading the manga week to week as it came out on a perfectly legal scanlation website. I was still in middle school at the time, and when that first rough English translation dropped, Obito, being the coolest guy, didn't sit well with a huge portion of the Western audience. I remember reading about how this scene further buried Naruto's character into a pit that already had a tombstone. A tombstone titled, "Neji was always right." I read the various forums as a young teenager, and sadly, with all my naivety, agreed with these negative sentiments. Even through my older teenage years, I would carry a similar clouded opinion. It wasn't until my 20s, and now, that I understand the beauty of this moment. And not just that, but one of the most profound 180s of my life is that it's actually one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. Individuality creates dreams. Dreams create hope. Hope creates despair. This is the ideology of the man behind the mask. A man who claims to be no one, yet wears the baggage of Madara Uchiha's name over his face. For he who should have abandoned everything, why the constant attempts at validation? Why let the past linger? The answer is simple. The past could never be abandoned. He tries to fight it away, but it defeats him, time and time again. He failed to destroy his past 17 years ago, and on the battlefield he created, it catches up with him. The master who shared his old dream, and the woman who entrusted him with a part of her own. He might have eradicated their presence, but their souls lived on through their offspring. And this son comes to remind the masked man who he was. It's not that he left the past behind because of its darkness, it's that he carries that darkness with him because he can't let go of the past. And the reason why is simple. The past holds everything dear to him. Despite saying ill feelings are meaningless in a world soon to be null, when his mask comes off, he lashes out at Kakashi for his failure. Even still though, Obito mocks Kakashi for even alluding that Rin is the sole reason for his actions. Yet, she is. It's not about lost love, but lost light. Rin symbolized something more than a love interest. She was a representation of the world's benevolence. In the cold hell of the Third Great Shinobi War, she offered solace that not only healed injuries, but healed the heart. When Obito was hurt, she patched his wounds. When he was uneasy, she pushed him forward. His dream that looked so far away always seemed closer when she was at his side. It was the same for Minato because of Kushina's brilliant headstrong nature, and it was like this for Obito because of Rin's constant affirmations. But since she's gone, he tries to fill even that role himself, constantly stumbling trying to validate his new path through Naruto, when it was so seamless before with someone else maintaining that role. He disregards that light could have been retrieved had he only reached out. Disregards the fog that loomed in front of him wasn't necessarily innavigable. It was the stain of conflict that created his hell, so he initiates more of it to create his heaven, even if it means spawning more hell for everyone else. All of this destruction to forge a shortcut toward a world of peace. A shortcut someone illuminated with a lamppost for him. That old light that once did the same thing for a long and arduous road would be replaced with a false gleam of paradise. Obito felt affection for the world when he looked at Rin, and feels disdain toward it when he thinks of Madara. His words, his dream. Obito would not only internalize these things, but let them devour him. The world that was once so bright is a void without that precious foundation, an idea mirrored by Obito's personal dimension. A place where there are only foundations, but nothing built on top. A blank space building toward a hopeless future. Both what Obito sees in the current world, and what his fake world of dreams would ultimately be. His old luminescence that propped him up is replaced with the cataclysm that shrouds his being, with Obito falsely believing it keeps him firm on his feet in the same way. And this shaky ground is displayed every time he tries to face the past he abandoned, and every time he uses Naruto to affirm his new journey. A man who displays his old characteristics, ideology, and dream. A man who displays the past Obito. In this reflection, Obito yearns to see the same transition he suffered. The path of Hokage was not sufficient to save what held up his world, so he would hold up his own new world on a new path of godhood. He needs to see the last embers of that esteemed title die out with Naruto, because it is a part of the past he can't let go of. And he can't let go of it because he can never stop loving it. After all, it was a world filled with hope. There's a reason Obito yearns to return to it in a dreamscape. He doesn't want to be the savior of the world. That is Madara Uchiha's dream. He wants to reclaim the past he lost. One where the light of hope was still alive. One where that symbolic beacon didn't die out and birth despair. When being the savior meant absolute detachment and his memories severed, Obito actively fought against this notion to retrieve them, even if it meant preserving the pain. He couldn't disconnect from the past when he was Madara, and still can't after becoming a god. Both farcical appearances expose his foundationless floor, his inability to detach from the world. What an Uchiha ghost posed as essential to reach the dreams of a far future. However, both the self-proclaimed savior and his inheritor walk this road in the first place because of their worldly scars acquired in the past. All of this suffering spawned from Obito Uchiha's dream of Hokage, so he would fulfill his promise to Rin by saving the world through his new dream. One where saving the world is only an afterthought, when it should be in the forefront of his mind had he stayed true to the man Rin supported. But he died with the support she offered. Or, at least, he thought that support died. Had he known there were still others waiting to come together and fulfill that role, had he known she was still watching, supporting him through the suffering all the while, he wouldn't have abandoned Hokage. Naruto is the same. When he faces the despair Obito causes, whether it be his childhood circumstances or the death of his comrades, he wavers in the same way. He would have easily joined Obito had it not been for the numerous supports at his side. One died, but another came to his rescue, just like how it was for Obito, only the paralyzing distinction is Madara is a false savior. Obito is entrusted to be the plank Madara could later walk over, where Naruto is entrusted to be the shield of convictions standing in front of his many supports. One duped into being a tool for someone else's purpose, the other consoled into becoming the man who can truly help save the world. These two are almost exactly the same. The only difference is the support they have, a common occurrence with Naruto's enemies, and it persists up to the final battle. Naruto's luckiest streak was never his genetics, birthright, or circumstances. It is his comrades. And not only did this shinobi acquire them by enduring the hardships that maintaining his convictions brought, but this refusal to give up has matured him into a man capable of seeing this one distinction in his enemy. He breaks the illusionary mask of deception his father could not, and acknowledges the pained face behind it. It's the face of his enemy, the face of the man who initiated his life of suffering. But that doesn't matter to Naruto. Not anymore. He's faced his pain twice before already, and healed that past scar with the remedy of love. Since it's all healed, since he's confronted and accepted his past, he's able to shatter the shell of Madara and unveil Obito's heart. It's a heart Obito's convinced he no longer has, a heart he tried to rip out to escape its wound. All it did, though, was strip the light he had left in him, leaving nothing but a void of residual pain. It could never be escaped. Similar to the man who took pain as a namesake in an attempt to be above it. And, identical to his fellow traitor, he too would abandon the Akatsuki's goal and make amends for his mistakes near the end of his road. What got him here is the same man who guided Nagato to commit the same action. All Naruto had to do was look at Nagato. All he has to do is look at Obito. The rest is easy. To look beyond one's hatred to see the individual. This is the hardest challenge of all, and it's a challenge Naruto proves he has mastered with this confrontation. He looks at the man who killed his parents, his comrades, and started a war, and extends the hand of reconciliation, a hand that, if accepted, will not only bring his side peace, but the opposing party as well. A hand that leads to true resolution. If Obito can't accept it, accompanied by Naruto's words alone, then the words of a friend who's tried to live in the dark world he abandoned will get him there. Kakashi had resolved to eliminate the current Obito to preserve his memory of the old Obito, but Naruto had different plans, to reclaim the old Obito. And, what's better, not only does he push his enemy toward this goal, but he enables Kakashi to pick up the slack. It's not that he has complete faith in the survival of Naruto's ninja way, it's that he has complete faith he and others will help Naruto maintain it. Something Obito now sees he too would have experienced had he only shown his face to the world once more. And the two scarred men reach the destination of this foggy, winded road together, redeeming their past failures by doing their utmost to preserve the future. A future Obito not only sees in Naruto, but Kakashi as well, and he returns the favor to the two who filled the hole in his heart by saving both their lives. And the story comes full circle. Two parents throwing themselves to the gallows to protect their son, two teammates placing themselves at death's door to protect that same light. The calamity that Naruto needed to be shielded from back then was Obito. Now, he is one of those many shields. The poison Obito administered back then, it plagued and tormented Naruto's existence. But even that darkness, his personal blight, Naruto transforms into medicine. Medicine that helps him shield his comrades in the same way. And when the real Madara robs this medicine from him, it is Obito who retrieves it. The sickness he permeated through Naruto's life, he takes it back and delivers it once more to his master's son, this time as a cure. The monster and calamity return as medicine and savior. The negatives of the past mature into future positives, converging onto a present of balance, true harmony. The enemy that initiates the world's greatest turmoil becomes one of the greatest assets in ending it, all because one shinobi decided to extend his hand. And to this shinobi, Obito entrusts with his dream, the final words of a man who dies a true ninja. Just like Asuma, just like Minato, just like Jiraiya, just like Itachi, just like Nagato, just like Neji. All of them died entrusting something after a lifetime of mistakes. So, just like all of these great ninja, Obito too is nothing but awesome. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to my channel for future content like this. I have a Patreon for those who are interested in supporting me. Even a $3 pledge goes a long way, and for that amount, you'll get to be on screen with these beautiful people here. Huge thank you to my top supporters, Sensei Krolon, Johnny, and Drepulk. You guys are epic. Okie doke, that's all folks. Spice Boy, out.